Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer. And I'm finally here to talk about No Time to Die. As a huge James Bond fan, I have been waiting for years now for this movie to finally come out. Daniel Craig's swan song as James Bond. And, waiting for things to come along and us to get there. And this film finally is released. And you have Bond, who's in retirement. He's with Madeline, his wife, played by Leah Seydoux. After Spectre, this is a direct sequel. And the film starts off with a really intense and thrilling, cold open. And that's one thing that I have to say about Cary. Fukunaga brings a real intensity and suspense to the action here. This is a real action thriller instead of just being like a fun action movie. There's some intense moments. The action is extremely well staged and well shot. The production design is top notch here, whether it's in costume design, whether it's these different set pieces in Norway and Italy, and the big bass at the end where Saffron, Rami Malek's character, does his thing, and everything feels really well designed and brought to life. The cinematography is pretty top notch. There's a couple of moments where it's extra sheeny in terms of lighting, but Linus Sandgren, who has done Damien Chazelle and David O. Russell films, does a really fine job, and Hans Zimmer just takes all that Bond feeling and just pumps it right back at you and really drives it forward. This is a long film. There's certain elements that I felt like they could have just cut out. There's one particular character that you could just tell from the beginning, this is going to be a double cross guy, and they don't really do much with the character besides that. And to be perfectly honest, Saffron is kind of a letdown, at least for me, as a villain here. You get Rami Malek, who's a fantastic actor, and he's just kind of spewing existential BS at times, and then is barely in the film at all. The design and everything really works, but he has this big plan to kill a whole bunch of people, and he has a little bit of he has motivation to start these things, but then he just kind of turns into evil just one of those Stromberg or Drax type villains from Moonraker and The Spy Who Loved Me, and this big thing with this nanobot virus thing, which interesting timing, is convoluted. You have to suspend your disbelief for a lot of things, and it's a bit of a messy part to it. But in general, there's a big emotional connection that you have in this film, where you have Bond in love and really with this relationship, and Seydoux does a fine job. Daniel Craig is really flexing his acting chops as James Bond in this film. It's one of the best Bond performances, period. As an actual acting performance with range, and there's twists and turns and surprises along the way that carry a lot more emotional weight here. You have all of this great supporting cast thrown in, including both Ana de Armas, who is fantastic in her small role as a CIA agent on this one Spectre mission that Bond gets roped into at the beginning of the film. You have Lashana Lynch as the new 007. She's a great addition. And then you just have Ben Whishaw and Ray Fiennes, Naomi Harris, Roy Keener, Blofeld. Christoph Waltz pops up for a little bit in this film. And there's a great cast, great performances, amazing action, some real emotional moments, and some bold choices that they make narratively, and with emotional connections to the film as well. And I felt like this Bond takes you on a journey, a big journey, and honestly earns a lot of its narrative and its runtime, and I never felt bored. Or even when it had a quiet moment, it never felt boring. There was always something exciting about it. There's some great action, like I said, and, it doesn't all come together, and I'm very interested to see what happens with the Bond franchise moving forward. But this film, despite a, bit of a lackluster villain and a couple of elements that felt undercooked or just just a little too many extra things going on. This was an emotional, exhilarating, and exciting return for Bond. And, you know, great opening credit sequence, and Billie Eilish's No Time to Die was a really fitting song. And from start to finish, this was a special, it felt like a special Bond film. This didn't just feel like a throwaway adventure, or like, this was, Fukunaga brings an amazing craft of filmmaking to this film, and it really made a difference. And I'm super excited. Like, I would love to see him do another Bond film, because this was beautiful, it was intense, it was kind of frightening at times, and in its intensity and thrills. And in the end, No Time to Die, I felt like was a really fitting send-off for Daniel Craig, and makes me very interested to see where Bond goes from here. But those are my thoughts on No Time to Die. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.